Thank yous, part 3 of many. The ending.
Gorgeous, baby. You're gorgeous.
This is the Josh Podcast Show. The anti-podcast podcast on God and man. The show that everybody's talking about. The show that will become a necessary part of your weekly mental diet. The show that picks up where JoshRolfe.com leaves off. The show title that uses the word podcast 4 times. Introducing your host, Josh Rolfe.
Dear Josh, will you please stop writing me thank you notes? You keep writing them and writing them when there is clearly an unwritten thank you note protocol. Do you understand me? Unwritten. Unfreaking written. Thus, stop writing me. Now, coldly, Anne.
June 17th, 2007. Dear Anne, thank you for telling me to stop writing thank you notes. Sincerely, Josh.
June 20th, 2007. Josh, my firm request for you to cease and desist went unheeded. I take back what I said in my last note about the unwritten protocol. The rule is written. It's printed into human DNA how and when to write and respond to thank yous. You obviously are not human. If you were human, you would not have written a thank you note when I demanded you no longer write me a thank you note. Enough of this madness, you sick, twisted thank you note monster. No regards. Not one. Anne.
June 30th, 2007. Dear Anne, you must have been having a bad day when you sent me your last thank you note. I laughed when you suggested I wasn't human. I just looked it up and I am very much human. Your note made me laugh and cry at the same time. I cried because you were having such a bad day. I laughed because it's obvious a monster can't cry and laugh at the same time. So thanks for reminding me of my humanity by depriving me of my humanity. Appreciatively, Josh.
July 1st, 2007. Dear Josh, there isn't enough room in thank you notes to say as much as I want to say to teach you what your allegedly human DNA hasn't taught you. You ensnared me in a trap. My DNA told me to show you common courtesy by continually responding to your thank you note. Your freakish DNA is more than merely dysfunctional. You have a DNA disorder. I'm going to say it. You should get yourself checked out because you're not well. You're not well. Worst. Anne.
July 9th, 2007. Dear Anne, thank you for thinking of me. Looks like the bad day continues, but I really hope you're better by now. Gratefully yours, Josh.
July 14th, 2007. Dear Josh, okay, this is my last note. My last thank you note. Goodbye. Write me again, and I'm calling the cops. Thank you for the privilege and potential opportunity to use the modern legal system against you. Anne.
July 16th, 2007. Dear Anne, thank you, Josh. On July 20th, 2007, Josh heard a loud knock on his apartment door.
Open the damn door! Open up the damn door!
Answering, he was served a restraining order by the armed, uniformed Officer Wenzel. The officer stated that Josh should no longer communicate in any way with Anne. If you have any questions about this notice, sir, my information is on this card. Josh returned to his kitchen table, pulled a small blank sheet from a stationery box, and began to write. July 23rd, 2007. Dear Officer Wenzel, it is with great pleasure that I write to thank you for the way in which you presented the restraining order. To this day, the officer has yet to respond to Josh's thank you. Stay tuned for A New Hope in Thank Yous, Part 4 of many.
Thank you for listening to the Josh Podcast Show, the anti-podcast podcast on God and man. For more information, visit joshpodcast.com. Follow Josh on Twitter at Josh Rolfe. That's Rolfe, R-O-L-P as in podcast, H. Now go and have the best day and night ever. And have fun.